So everybody's been talking about over the past 24 to 48 hours about the deal that was made between ATSE or IATSE as they're known for short, that being the IATSE and the and AMPTP or AMPTP or APTM, whatever they call themselves. And a lot of people have agreed that this is a decent deal, that this is something that a majority of people will be cool with for the time being. I mean, the fact that, it's a 3-year contract, I think says a lot, because they realize, okay, we can't probably drag this out forever, and that, basically time is of the essence, when it comes to, what we're willing to, work with, what we're willing to negotiate and give and everything in exchange to keep, Hollywood and all productions and stuff, afloat for the time being. Now, of course, as some people have reported, not a lot of people were happy about it. A lot of people feel that it's not enough, and basically a lot feel that, those that will ratify the vote, if you will, basically cast the ballot on yay or nay, will go in the direction of nay, which means they'll have to come up with something different. But here's the thing. They don't specifically say exactly how many members, are dissatisfied with this, or how many members may vote against it. And when you don't hear a specific number of, oh, it's going to be so and so many members of the union that are going to vote against it, and all you hear is, all you hear basically is from people saying, oh, we're certain people will vote against it. It's just a way of those that don't like what's going on or don't like the deal being made coming out and saying, well, if we say something like this but don't specifically give a number, that might work in our favor, not realizing that this is pretty much a done deal. But there was something that Clownfish TV, Kneon and Geeky Sparkles brought up when they talked about this. And they brought up the fact that, yes, the contract is 3 years. But there was one thing that Kneon said. Kneon, and I'm not going to quote him here, but he kind of said something along the lines that this might be, this 3-year contract and everything, this might be, a means to an end, if you will, or a way out, if you will, for the AMPTP in the studios. And what he meant by that, and again, he didn't specifically say it, but he basically said something along those lines. Basically what he's talking about is he's speculating, and I'm sure he's not alone in this. His wife also agreed with him as well, so that being Geeky Sparkles. But he basically is speculating whether or not this whole 3-year contract deal is not just enough time to be bought to, probably make things better, like add a few things, maybe improve on a few things that are already in there and, make them better as time goes on, so that maybe, renegotiations in 3 years will be a lot smoother than they were this year. He was speculating, and again, I know he's not alone in this, and his wife, agrees with him on it. Whether or not this 3-year contract is, basically the studios and the AMPTP's way of possibly, while this deal is going down, maybe hire in some non-union workers so that, if something like this happens again, they won't have to worry about shutting down, but because they'll have people on call, they'll have people on the ready that are not unionized. In other words, people that, pretty much they could say, okay, you want to strike because you're not getting the deal you want, once again, like you tried to do 3 years prior? Fine, no problem. We can continue without you because, ta-da! Look what we have in the wings. Ta-da! Who knows? Who knows? But that's just mere speculation on his part. But it is a good theory, or it's a good speculated, I should say, theory to really think about, because there's a lot of companies out there, big, small, worth millions of dollars, billions of dollars. They're responsible for this, they're responsible for that. There's a lot of companies out there that basically, when people threaten to strike, yeah, they do take it seriously, but they don't take it seriously to the point that they let it stop them from, continuing to work and produce, whatever they need to produce, or, basically offer whatever they need to offer, if you catch my drift. Basically, it doesn't prevent them from, moving anymore. They just keep moving. And the reason they do that is because they have workers on call. Like, the people they hire on for different areas, well, guess what? Those people, they could say, well, you always want to be in this area. Guess what? Boom. There you go. Opportunity awaits you. And that's kind of what, Kneon and Geeky and others along with them are probably theorizing and speculating as we speak. They speculate and theorize that being Kneon and Geeky Sparkles in their video, and others, like I said, probably agree with them as we speak, or agreeing with them as we speak, that basically this is something that, the studios and the AMPTP would probably do during this 3-year deal. That, behind IATSE's back and the union's back, they might hire on non-union workers to basically have on call, to have on the ready, so that when these union members decide, okay, we're going to strike, whether it's after the 3-year thing is done and, they're not getting, more improvements or whatever, or if they decide to strike in the near future for whatever reason, they feel is necessary, the speculation that Geeky and Kneon brought up is, mostly Kneon, is, what if, maybe this 3-year deal is behind the scenes allows the studios and the AMPTP to basically say, hey, we don't have to worry about, these guys striking. They can strike all they want. It's not going to stop us because, look, we have some workers on the ready now, non-union workers. And, is that a possibility of potentially, becoming reality? Is that something potentially that studios and, the AMPTP and others involved on that side of the, tracks could potentially do, while this deal is in progress? Well, basically, this deal is, doing what it's supposed to do. Yeah. Because like I said, companies of any kind, big, small, whatever, they're not going to let a strike stop them from working. They're not going to let a strike of any kind stop them from moving on, with their day-to-day basis. And, the studios, obviously, along with the AMPTP, could follow suit in that and say, hey, look, we're not going to let something like this happen again. Because we're going to have people that are non-unionized on the call, that are willing to work, that are willing to come in and work the hours that these people wanted. So, so is that possible? Absolutely. But we'll have to see. For all we know, when the voting goes down this week, which mostly will be in a yes category, hopefully, they might say, look, we're going to vote for this, but maybe one of the things they might, say while they're voting, possibly yes, is, hey, we'll vote yes, even though it's not exactly what everybody would like, we'll vote yes, but and I wouldn't be surprised at this. I wouldn't be surprised if the union members talk to the members of the AMPTP and some of the studios and be like, yeah, we'll vote yes, but no shenanigans. No shenanigans behind our back. Because maybe they're thinking about it too. Maybe they're thinking, hey, what if the studios and the AMPTP decide, hey, we're going to hire non-union workers to cover our backs in case something like this happens again? You can't say they may not be thinking about that, and if they are, maybe that's something they'll bring up when they're voting. And they say, look, we'll vote yes, even though it's not everything people want, but no shenanigans. Maybe that might be something, one of the union members, one of the heads of the union members brings to the table, as a discussion while they vote. But, again, we'll see. Maybe it's just speculating and theorizing for nothing. Who knows? But I heard that, from Kneon on that edition of Clownfish TV, and I was like, that does sound like something that could possibly happen, but could it? We'll have to see. But what do you guys think? What do you think about, that speculation and that theory that Kneon brought up, along with Geeky, and probably one that's shared by everybody? What are your thoughts on it? Comment down below, live chat during the premiere, like the video, as well as check me out at patreon.com/bwroses, as well as check me out at BW Roastes BW Rose's discussions, I should say, on all your favorite audio podcast locations, except for Pandora. Also check me out at BW Roses on Venmo. Check out my Teespring store, as well as check me out on Venmo, and I will provide that information in a lot of the recent videos as time goes on. But until next time, guys, I'll talk to y'all later.